Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you stopping by. I'm Ricky, and today we are talking about a Charged with Light build specifically for the Vex Mythoclass. Basically at the start of this season, Season 15, Bungie put out a 15% PvE damage buff for fusion rifles, but specifically for the Vex, they gave it a 40% PvE damage buff, which is absolutely insane on its own. For example, if you ended up getting the Vex last season and thought it was kind of mediocre at best, you should honestly just try it as is now. It is so much better than what it was. But today in the video, I'm going to show you a couple different mods and a setup where it's going to make the Vex absolutely disgusting and completely top tier in literally any content that you're doing. So I'll go ahead and pull up my character now, see what we're working with here. Obviously, the first step of any of this is going to be having a Vex Mythoclass like I have here. I had actually just got the Catalyst this season, like a week and a half ago, and I'm running at 3,600 kills, which is awesome. It is just by far my favorite build, my favorite weapon to use this season, and I'm about to show you why. So before I go into each individual or specific mod that I'm using, I just want to give you an overall summary of how it's going to work. Basically, I have two mods on my Hunter that are going to help me become Charged with Light, and because I'm going to have them happen so often, it's going to really just help me stay Charged with Light for the entire activity that I'm doing. Next, I will have actually two sets of mods that are going to help me increase my Charged with Light stacks, so that way instead of the usual Charged with Light times 2, I'll be able to go higher than that, which is just going to keep me staying Charged with Light as well as the mod I'm using to consume them just completely consistent throughout the entire activity or event. As I just said, I'm going to have that one mod for the consuming stacks. But lastly, I will also have an artifact mod, which I'm sure you guys have heard of, but if not, just an artifact mod for this season that's just going to go above and beyond any other mod similar to like a Breach and Clear style from last year that just makes the Vex top tier, just god tier overall. So for example, first starting with my cloak, I have the mod Taking Charge. What that does is that makes it so I become Charged with Light every time I pick up an orb, which, as I'm sure many of you know, could either be from getting multi-kills with a masterworked weapon, kind of like how my Vex is right now, or just by you or your teammates using their supers and picking up orbs afterwards as well. Next, I have on my legs this mod called Quick Charge. What that does is that helps you become Charged with Light as well, specifically when you get multi-kills with either a shotgun or in this case being a fusion rifle. Whether I'm picking up the orbs or I'm getting the multi-kills with the Vex, like I said, I'm always going to be Charged with Light at this point. And just to help solidify that, on my chest piece, I have a mod called Stacks on Stacks, and what that'll do is anytime I become Charged with Light, normally it'd be Charged with Light times 1, but anytime I become Charged with Light with this mod, it'll double that. So let's say I'm running and gunning, I pick up an orb from a super, let's say, I will immediately become Charged with Light times 2, which is awesome. Up next on my gauntlets, the other mod that ties into this to build up my momentum with stacks is going to be this thing called Supercharged. And what that does is that gives me a cap, a ceiling of, instead of times 2 for my Charged with Light stacks, it'll give me a Charged with Light times 4 stack to it, which just makes it easier to obtain and continue to keep all of those stacks with Charged with Light. Lastly, on my helmet, I have the mod that's going to consume all those stacks on any given basis. So this guy is High Energy Fire. That guy basically just gives me a damage increase of about 20% anytime that I'm Charged with Light and it gets consumed. So like I said, the frequency of being, or I should say becoming, Charged with Light at any given moment, and it's all filling into this High Energy Fire, the Vex is going to be doing disgusting amounts of damage. But the one I did take off just for the sake of the video, because it's on my cloak actually normally, is the main event of mods. This mod, if you haven't used it already, is by far just top tier. I personally think it's better than Breach and Clear from last season because I can use it on primaries like the Vex being a fusion rifle with infinite ammo, and it works on every single enemy. So if you didn't see, it's this guy right here, which is particle deconstruction. Basically, whenever I deal damage to combatants, which is just any PvE enemy, with either a fusion rifle or linear fusion rifle, it'll gain bonus damage, and it stacks up to 5 essentially. With the Vex being, like I said, a primary, and it shoots pretty quickly. It's like, I want to say 390, yeah, 390 rounds per minute. That times 5 that you're gonna build up to is really easy to do. And like I said, between that, high energy fire, stacks on stacks, supercharged, taking charge, quick charge, all those dudes, it's disgusting. Like, you will melt bosses, champions, ads. It is absolutely phenomenal. To tie into those as well, just to make sure I'm using it as much as possible. On my gauntlets, I also have 2 fusion rifle loaders, as you see. That's just so I'm not wasting any time between shooting enemies, reloading, going back in. I wanted to make it as convenient and seamless as possible. So honestly, besides that, guys, that is really the video. To be honest, I'm not too great with editing whatsoever. I have no idea how to do that, if I'm being honest. But I promise I will get better in the future here. But if you guys have any better ideas of builds or guns or mods that you love using as well, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate you guys, and as always, have an awesome, awesome day. Thanks, guys.